entering the town of Twin Peaks.
There was a fish in the percolator.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You are witnessing a front three-quarter view of two adults sharing a tender moment.
It is happening again.
Take another look, Sonny. It's going to happen again.
What kind of fantastic trees have you got growing around here?
I'm going to turn it upside down.
Sheriff, we got a lot to talk about.
Sheriff, we do have a lot to talk about.
We have the most to talk about. I've never been so upset in my life. Just kidding. I'm a dramatic person. I've been very upset. But
scream at the TV a couple times.
I screamed at least twice.
Yeah. We'll get to it.
I knew that the reveal happened in the episode, which we prefaced in our last episode of the pod, because they advertised it. Just crazy. But it didn't go the way I thought it would. And there's something that happens even before then that just like I choked on my food and then I teared up. Like I almost started crying.
Before we get into all of that, I have to say this is Welcome to Twin Peaks, the Horror Art of Hanna's Twin Peaks rewatch podcast. So thanks for joining. We are joined by Britt from 1001 by 1 today. Britt is our self-proclaimed log lady of our show. So
yes. Thank you so much for having the log lady back today. I am so excited to talk about this episode. I was texting Matt earlier just to say that I think this might be the best episode of television out there. It's perfect in my opinion, and I can't wait to discuss it with you because it is incredible.
It is incredible.
The thing I love about the reveal is that, you know, the studios were really like insistent that David Lynch and Mark Frost tell the audience who the killer is. And I do have a little fun story about that later. But they told us, but they did not tell us the why. And that is...
It's the fact that you're missing so much actual information.
It's incredible.
I think I struggled to process when in my brain I was like, oh, I'm getting the reveal. I thought Agent Cooper would also get the reveal for some stupid fucking reason. Well, that's just a failure on my end of like understanding the show. But then I was like, oh my God, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. What the hell? And then that I think is what freaked me out the most. When
then the credits rolled.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I don't think that is a mistake on your end. I think that's the way that normal television would go. That's the way that normal storytelling would go. And David Lynch and Mark Frost are not going to do normal storytelling. They're not going to spoon feed you anything. Even though this feels like it's so early to reveal who killed Laura Palmer, we still don't know why. And we know everything about Bob, but we don't know where Bob came from. We still, God, there's so much.
There's so many Bob's questions.
Let me give a quick rundown. Sonia, I didn't even say it.
I had to ask Britt an icebreaker quick.
Okay.
So we already, last time we got the sort of icebreaker that your character that you identify most with is the log lady. Today's icebreaker question is, what is your typical diner order?
Oh God. Okay. So my typical diner order would probably be 2 poached eggs, extra crispy hash browns, sausage, unless it's a sausage patty, because I only like the small links, then it would be bacon if it's not that, and then some sourdough on the side.
Ooh, okay.
It's very, very boring, but God, it's really good.
My very standard diner order is just 2 eggs over easy, bacon and toast, probably rye or wheat.
I would say we're all kind of on the same. If I'm going my most standard, because I'll get an eggs Benedict or a
eggs Benedict is
corned beef hash.
I'll get shit on the shingle on a cage.
No one knows what that is.
I know. I think that's very local terminology. Yeah.
Explain to say what it's actually called.
I don't even know how.
Cream chip beef
over toast. But locally,
okay,
it's very good. Anyway,
I do love biscuits and gravy as well.
Biscuits and gravy slays so hard.
So good, but I can only get it maybe once a year because it's too rich.
And also, you have to be really cautious about where you order it because I do feel like it's
the further south, the better.
Fuck up biscuits and gravy and not be the best.
Fair.
That's why I feel like I end up doing eggs because how do you fuck up egg?
Well, here's the thing. I'm always going to get a poached egg with my biscuits and gravy, which I feel like most people would think is sacrilegious. But I'm also from the Pacific Northwest, so we do things differently than everywhere else. And our biscuits and gravy aren't going to be necessarily the same as everyone else's. So whatever. I accept that I'm wrong.
All right, I'll be quick with mine. I'm going to do 2 eggs over easy, hash browns, bacon, rye toast.
Okay,
that's I'm easy. Mine's very similar to Britt's. Yeah,
well,
and
yours is very similar to mine. Yeah,
that's my
they're
like
all
standard.
very similar.
If I'm getting the.
I love it.
All right, now that we've got that out of the way.
Sorry, I had to have something light.
Yes,
I love that.
We are covering Twin Peaks season 2, episode 7. The episode where Laura's killer is revealed. And this episode is named Lonely Souls. I'll say it again. These names all came way after the fact from Germany. They did. But I still like going with them anyway because they're interesting.
Too.
So written by Mark Frost and directed by David Lynch. It aired November 10th, 1990 to 17.2 million viewers. That is up from 11.3 last week, probably because they advertised it as the big reveal. This is still only half of what the pilot got, which was like 34 million. But that's
not
standard.
Surprising. Like people are always going to watch a pilot to kind of get a feel for if it's for them or not.
Even crazier, based on the poster we saw last time, this was aired at Saturday night at 10 p.m.
Insane.
Which seems really weird to me.
That's
Don't
so
understand.
bonkers.
That's what it said, at least. I mean,
and the last episode aired on a Saturday as well. So,
well, it's actually funny because one of my good friends from school, her mom was in labor when this episode aired. And she literally was like, I am not having this baby until I know who killed Laura Palmer. So she was like, do not come in until after. And her son was not born until after this episode aired.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
To know.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's valid. Queen, you tell him.
Yeah, I respect it.
That's all I have for background as of now, because we're going to let Hanna talk about her experience with the big reveal before getting into plot and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Let me go through my general thoughts really quick, which will end with the reveal, obviously. So first, starting light, I'm cackling at the old Asian businessman being Catherine because I kept repeatedly saying, this is definitely played by a woman. But I was trying to be careful because I didn't want to like misgender a person.
Of course.
So I was like, I'm pretty sure this is just a woman doing like an old man voice.
And I was sitting there holding in my laughter when she's like, that's definitely a woman. And I had no clue watching it the first time.
And I said it to Matt so many times. I think I might have only said it like on the mic once, maybe twice.
She said it a ton.
But I was so confident that it was a woman, and but I didn't put together like why it would be played by a woman.
And you kept saying, "Where's Catherine?
Really
Where's Catherine?" I kept saying she's dead.
Mm-hmm. And in the last, some of the questions I asked in our last podcast episode make me really sad, or in this case, I think are funny because one of them it was just like, "Where's Catherine?" So. Haha, she was there the whole time, just
Catherine
as an old man.
There. She was just an old man.
An old Asian
Mr.
man. Yeah. I have a lot of questions about what's going on there, but
here's the thing. That's one of those moments that I feel like does not age well at all. It's not okay at the time. It's not okay now. It's one of those things where I was like, I'm not comfortable with this. And that's okay. I'm allowed to not be comfortable with things that are happening in my favorite show.
Hey, Catherine's a bad person, though.
Catherine's a really bad person.
So it's like unsurprising. And also, I feel like it's pretty in line with what Ben Horne would probably be suspecting to do business with. So like, I can't blame her for that.
Also,
it makes it like I understand why they did it from a writing perspective. It's just not. It's not comfortable.
It makes me a little uncomfortable, but it's also really funny that it's like Catherine, especially when she kisses Pete.
Funny reveal.
Oh my God!
Like I cackled.
And then you kind of like love her for a second. I'm like, yes, Catherine's back.
Well, and also I'm like, oh, you fucking hate your husband, and then suddenly I was like, maybe you like your husband, because it seemed like she was happy to see him. Like I was bringing up a lot of things.
I think I think here's the thing about Piper Laurie. She's an incredible actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Piper Laurie, queen forever. I'm always going to be on board with her. Maybe not in this moment, but for the most part, I love everything she does. I also think it's such an interesting moment between Catherine and Pete because it shows that deep down, Pete's still her guy. Pete's still the person that she's going to when she needs something. It's not necessarily need something in like a superficial way, like emotionally needs support. It's going to be Pete, which makes me feel like they had a loving relationship at some point. And I really like that. I don't know.
Definitely.
It's really nice to see Pete kind of come around and start laughing with her, and the two of them are enjoying themselves together. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to know what your story is. How did you get together? I know that you know, like, he was a miller and you guys got together that way. But God, how cute is that? Like them laughing with that reveal. I think
we also like Catherine a little bit more now because one, they tried to kill her and she survived and she saved Shelley. Badass.
She's a cockroach.
Yeah, she's a cockroach. And also now that we feel much more sus about Josie, you're like, well, I don't know.
The most beautiful ever, Josie, is so oh my God.
Yeah.
I said she was a femme fatale from the beginning. No one didn't believe me.
I did not believe
I know.
Just
it's just funny. Like the very obvious femme fatale turns out to be a femme fatale. Who knew? Like
who knew?
Poor Truman.
Poor Truman.
Oh my gosh.
Well, all right. So keep giving us your rundown.
So my second
thing.
of my general thoughts is incredibly depressing. I was so flabbergasted that Harold died by suicide. I choked on my dinner. My eyes teared up. I screamed. And then I just kept going, what? No.
It's a really disturbing.
They didn't.
It's a
They didn't do
shot.
that. It's incredibly disturbing.
Yeah.
And it's not that they didn't write his character to make that fit. Like, it fits the characterization. They've made it very clear that he is struggling with his mental health. I mean, he has agoraphobia. Like, that's been a part of his character since moment one. I think I just didn't anticipate them going there, which is stupid because, I mean, as a show, literally, that is contained, like, the assault and murder of a child.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's out of place. I guess I just didn't expect them going there. And I think it's really tough because they did set Harold up to be he was kind of ambiguous. Like, I understand reading him as like, oh, this poor guy, but I understand reading him as like sinister, like he is hiding something really bad. And the fact that he wasn't willing to give the diary up to the police, like that is shady. That is not cool, Harold. So I do think I can't imagine watching the show and being like, Harold is a terrible person and he's hiding something and then getting to that. Like, I was shocked and upset and I was I did not feel that way about Harold. So I can't imagine had I been like, fuck Harold up until that point.
I was never in the camp of fuck Harold. I always was in the camp that Harold seemed to be Harold was honestly another victim of Laura's, because as much as I love Laura Palmer, I feel like she used a lot of people, and I do think that she used Harold. Maybe she didn't realize it was selfishly, but it was selfish. And that does not mean that she's not allowed to be a victim. I'm just saying that people contain layers and multitudes, and victims are allowed to have do problematic things before horrible things happen to them. And I actually always kind of felt bad for Harold. Like,
me too.
When, in episode 6, I rewatched 6 and 7 today, or 13 and 14 today. And I feel really bad for Harold. So when he dies by his own hand in this episode, I was like, holy shit. This poor fucking guy just didn't know how to handle the situation around him. And I do think that it was handled in a way that was really shocking, but like we see his feet, but we don't see his entire body, which feels very respectful of
I think
Harold.
they did it as respectfully as they could.
Yeah,
it's framed in a really disturbing and upsetting way, but also like respectful at the same time. Like it's not grotesque. It's honestly, it leaves more to the imagination, which and it really catches you off guard. Like I said, Hanna choked. She wasn't lying. I was like worried for a second.
Yeah, Matt was like, "Are you choking?" It's like, no, I just can't process what's happening.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I feel like this episode, there are a lot of like really fun moments throughout it, really chill moments, I would say, that kind of don't prepare you for the ending, and some really, really intense, heartbreaking moments, especially that ending and what happens to Harold.
Yeah, so let's talk about the ending because that's
is there anything else that you have in your?
Well, I mean, I have other points throughout, but like that is the obvious topic that we need to get to.
Can we talk about the arrest of Ben at the same time, since these are like kind of overlapping?
Well, so I did think it was very fun that some of the clues kind of pointed to Ben between the diary and Mike.
Yeah, Hanna in last episode said there are two people that can be Leland or Ben based on what Mike said.
Yeah.
And I said, or Pete.
But it was never Pete.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
I said, or Pete. I said, or the old man, because they were all in the Great Northern.
Okay, but it was clearly never
Leland or Ben.
Yeah.
And so Ben gets arrested, which I was thinking from a first-time viewer, like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah, like you had...
If I was on Twitter... Go ahead, sorry.
I was pretty convinced it wasn't. So I was like, oh, that's crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe, like, I simply can't imagine this airing on TV, hearing nothing about the show whatsoever. And then you're like, yeah, I knew it. It was fucking Ben Horne, who has been a giant creep this entire time.
I was saying, imagine being on Twitter at the time. Everyone would have been like during Game of Thrones style, like everyone like, it's Ben, it's Ben, it's Ben. And then tell us.
And then it's Leland and the reveal. It's done so well and it's so disturbing.
Yes.
So we're getting these kind of like mundane shots of furniture kind of moving around the room, and there's no one seemingly in the room, but we're hearing the sound of the record player, which is clearly needs to be like turned off or turned over, and it's just kind of like clicking. So it's already unsettling, along with the empty room. And then it shows Sarah crawling down the stairs, like crying for her husband. And then
it's like intercutting back to other things going on
that,
too. So like,
and then is it then that it shows
she passes out on the floor after seeing the white horse, and then
it pans to Leland looking in the mirror,
who's
and then
been standing there the whole time.
Which is also shocking. And then they show in the mirror Bob. And I just thought that was an incredible way of handling that, because at first you do look and you're like, why the fuck would he be ignoring her? That's fucking insane. And then you see in the reflection it's Bob.
And Ray Wise makes this incredible like smile looking in the mirror, and they show the reflection of him, and then I think they show it again, and it's Bob looking back, and it's this great camera trick. And it's just immediately you're like, oh no, they've arrested the wrong guy. Cooper's not there.
And then they both look over their shoulder, and Leland basically looks into the camera and then past the camera. And every single time I get goosebumps, because it feels unsafe. Like it feels like Leland is going to come through the screen into your house. Bob is coming through to kill you. There's something so powerful about Ray Wise's performance in this show. And I think he was cast perfectly.
Flawlessly.
It's such a great scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in anything. It's Cheryl Lee in that entire scene as well is just like beyond so good. I can't help but feel for Maddie, who I adore in that scene. It's so good. It's just he is sinister, he is dangerous, he is devilish, and also there is a sense of like there are moments where he doesn't want to be doing what he's doing, and those flips between the two are brilliant.
Well,
Twin
I found
Peaks,
it
why? You're so good.
especially horrifying because it just kind of cuts away to what's happening in other places. And as we're in the middle of another scene, I looked at Matt and said, "Holy shit, Maddie."
I think it was specifically, wait, where's Maddie? Or something like that. And I just kept my mouth shut.
Yeah, Matt didn't say anything, and I didn't put together that was bad news that Matt didn't respond. So then I'm so upset because in the last episode, one of my questions was, "Oh, Maddie's leaving. Does Maddie come back?" So when she's, coming down and then everything happens with her assault and seemingly murder.
Yeah.
I'm just making the assumption she's dead, but Matt kind of
he put a
I know the thing under her nail, but part of
that
me was like, maybe she's not dead. Maybe I want her to not be, so maybe she's not. But I know.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Matt already confirmed she's dead. So
great.
My
Yeah,
bad.
she's dead.
Thanks,
Sorry,
Matt.
Baby.
I think it's pretty obvious.
I know, but I think
he puts the letter under her fingernail. He's alone with her. There's no way. And also the giant says, "It's happening again."
Yeah, well, other people were assaulted and not murdered, so...
They didn't get a letter under the fingernail till way later.
Yeah, I know. That's the tough part. But the way that part of the scene is also handled, the slow down shots with like the muted sound design is incredible and horrifying.
The slowed screams.
It's like it's the screaming not being piercing.
Yeah.
But it's piercing nonetheless because it's just such a horrifying setting. And just the way also it cuts between Bob versus the Leland of him like crying, like, "Laura." I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I have so many questions about how much understanding or control that Leland has in these moments. Is it all Bob? Is it partially Leland? And I know those are questions.
Put those on your questions list.
I'm not going to have like immediately answer, but I do think because it cuts between them and Leland is crying, it does leave that very open for you to process.
I think that it's very obvious that David Lynch is the director of this episode, just from various shots that are used, various superimposed images, but especially at that ending, because one thing that David Lynch does very well, for the most part, not in everything, but he showcases violence against women in a way that is not only palpable, but feels safe for people to watch. Like as a woman, I'm a woman, I am horrified by what I'm seeing, but I don't think that Cheryl Lee was ever in danger while watching this. Like I feel like it was a safe set for her. And like I don't feel that way about other movies I've seen by a lot of other directors. And I think that in this, you can watch her, I think especially of the differences between when Bob is coming towards her and you have like the spotlight, the luminescent light on them, the juxtaposition between the two of them, the dreamlike sequences with Bob, and the kind of the realistic things with Leland where he's punching her in the face, which is just very, very hard, but it feels like normal lighting. It's so brilliant and so well thought out and so cinematic. It's not television we're watching. This feels like a movie.
Yeah, it does.
And I think
it feels like I'm not even watching a movie either. It feels like something has stepped into my living room and is violating me.
Yes, but in a safe way. In a way
that I'm like impressed by what this filmmaker has created, this auteur has created for me. But I don't know that I have watched anything else that could create the feeling that this did, because while you say it's a more like palatable violence, it's also like feels way too real at the same time.
No. Yes, I totally agree with that. I'm coming specifically from a performer's point of view in that I have been in situations where I feel unsafe on stage with my partner and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can continue with this scene because I don't want to get slapped in the face again. Whereas there are moments where like Leland, Ray Wise is picking up Cheryl Lee and she's like flopping backwards and screaming. And I'm like, oh, they have an understanding between them that this is safe for them to go to a place that's so real for the audience. And
I totally know what you mean.
Yes, that's what I mean in that, where it's safe. Whereas, I
do want to touch on the realness, though. You're right, because it's very safe. It's not grotesque.
No.
And I think the violence in real life doesn't look grotesque. And this is what violence in real life, like more in my mind, looks like. I think like movies and action movies have kind of hurt our heads on how this looks. And it's like,
it desensitized
almost mundane in the way that it's done, to the point of like, oh my God, like I am watching this for real. And I am so scared. And then obviously, like you said before, the cutting between Bob and also the fact that it goes on for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And it is just, ugh.
Well, and for me, the part that makes me cringe the most is the fingernail when he's pushing the letter under the fingernail. I think that's I can feel it going under my fingernail.
Yeah.
Not because I've ever had anything under my fingernail, but I've definitely had, like my fake nails ripped off my own fingernail. And I'm like, oh my God, that hurts so bad. I can't imagine anything underneath it. And the way that he filmed it is just perfect. David Lynch, perfect man. I think like just incredible. It makes me really sad. I get teary-eyed every single time. And also, can I just say, I know that this was for TV and we think like they wouldn't have done that, but Game of Thrones could never make a scene like this look as realistic. In my
completely
opinion.
Agree. Yeah.
And like they never tore Maddie's clothes. They never tried to sexualize her in this assault. They never tried to show us her bra, which I feel like most shows nowadays would try to do. It was purely about the power that Bob/Leland had over Maddie. And that is why David Lynch is the best at this. This is why he's so good, because he showcases violence against women in a way that is feels real and not voyeuristic.
I wanted to say, like, you're right. It's not like voyeuristic or like sexualized the way that I think, or like sexually charged. However, I do think from watching this, like it is implied that Leland is going to rape her or rape a body.
Yes, I agree.
Which also makes my stomach hurt really bad.
No, for sure. For sure. That is insinuated, but we don't have to see him take her clothes off in order for it
to happen. Yes. It's like just the way he looks at her, and also like the Bob of it, like feeding on her.
Oh God.
And also like we know
we
also know like historically that is what has happened to previous victims. So like I think we can strongly infer what's going to happen without needing to see it. And I always appreciate when a director can get that across without physically making me watch a sexual assault.
It's worse. It's worse this way. It makes me feel it like internally
that's like
more than
so much about how much we loved that scene in Sorry Baby.
Sorry Baby.
It's such a phenomenal
ill on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, but I guess I'd prefer to feel ill than from implication than feel ill from seeing it and thinking it's distasteful.
Yeah.
Well, because it's so much worse in our heads, right? Like the things that are happening in our heads feel like they're so much worse. And if we're actually visualizing it, there's a moment of like, why am I watching this? I could turn it off, right? I don't need to see this. And because honestly, I want respect for the characters. I want respect for the people on screen. And I don't want to watch that happen to Maddie. I really, really don't. Yeah. I think if that was actually visualized, I probably would have turned it off and never turned the show back on because it's not necessary for her. We don't need that.
Instead, he somehow makes a compelling 5-minute murder scene. And it's like,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you really have to sit with it.
That's my thing. I think people like maybe like violence is too fast in movies, and this it's like, no, like a hand-on-hand combat, or I'm not combat, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know
is
what you mean.
like slow, and it's
Well,
just
Mhm.
nuts.
it's kind
And
of
just
like
like her, she's defenseless. It's really upsetting.
Well, it's kind of like when you watch a movie and they try to strangle somebody, and after 10 seconds, it's
They're dead.
And you're
Meanwhile,
like,
it takes
no,
like 4 minutes. Like,
it takes a long time. It actually takes a long time to kill someone. And I appreciate the fact that David Lynch respected the audience enough to show us that, and respected Maddie enough to not sugarcoat it for us, because it's what happened was awful.
yes. All right. Well, I think with
give
that,
us the
now
description
let me
and
give me
background
the
now.
whole.
We went into it, y'all.
Yeah,
Well, that was the plan. We needed to
literally
let Hanna
couldn't
talk about that.
not unpack it.
Yeah, so it has been revealed now to everyone. So I'm also going to work on my Latin in here. So we'll see.
Oh,
if this
maybe don't
description
do
works
that.
or not.
Don't do that.
Do it.
Well,
It's a dead language. Come on.
all right. So plot for episode 7: Hawk investigates Harold after Donna reveals that he has Laura's diary, but discovers that he has hanged himself, leaving a note reading "Jai una aimé solitaire," which means "I am a lonely soul." Maddie tells Leland and Sarah that she is returning home. Bobby discovers a hidden cassette tape in the heel of Leo's boots. No shoes. Audrey confronts Ben, revealing that she knows he owns One-Eyed Jacks. And Ben admits that he slept with, and I put in parentheses, raped Laura, because like at least statutory. It's just how they talk
she's
about
17.
it, though. She's 17.
Yeah.
And that he loved her. Loved Laura, yeah. And has a picture of Laura on his desk. The pages from the diary are reconstructed, revealing that Laura was molested and abused by Bob, and that she planned to tell the world about Ben Horn. After Audrey reveals her information about Ben, Cooper and Truman arrest him for Laura's murder. The log lady tells Cooper that there are owls at the roadhouse. Going to the roadhouse during a Julie Cruz performance, Cooper has a vision of the giant saying, "It is happening again." At the Palmer house, Leland, possessed by Bob, drugs Sarah and murders Maddie, placing a letter under her fingernail. At the roadhouse, Donna, Bobby, and Cooper sense that something has happened, and then the senile old waiter that we saw from the beginning of the season walks up to Cooper and says, "I'm so sorry."
That description doesn't even have Mike.
Yes.
The Mike scene where they're like at the hotel.
I know. Oh,
and
yeah, you're right.
He
points
but
to
it's
Ben.
seemingly
Sorry.
at Ben, because I have questions about that.
Yep.
So I need to
well,
make sure
everyone,
people
hopefully
recall
everyone
this.
watched it. So let me pull my tab over and let's talk about a little bit of fun facts here. So,
Are any facts going to be fun?
obviously at this
Yeah.
point though, so this is the big reveal, which we talked about before. David Lynch and Mark Frost have actually both basically said different things about when the reveal is going to happen. Lynch said it was like never meant to be revealed, or it was going to be revealed at the very end. And then Mark says something different. So we're never really going to know.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, they didn't want to do it this early. And I will say it's kind of interesting because a lot of people give Bob Iger a lot of shit as one of the ABC execs that was like, it's got to be revealed. It's got to be revealed. And later on, he has said, oh, maybe that was a mistake. I'm going to go and say it wasn't a mistake, because without this reveal being this early, we never get Fire Walk with Me, and we probably don't ever get the return. So you know what, Bob Iger, you might have been right. But
What
I will also
Britt,
say, yeah, Britt, go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually agree with you. I think the series could have ended here. We don't necessarily, the rest of it, fine. But it could have ended here. We could have just had 14 great episodes that go into, the next thing. But the fact that we get Fire Walk with Me, the fact that we get the return, I will always thank Bob Iger for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, because it's glorious.
Yes. And I will shout out, this is funny, I'm going to shout out Bob Iger, but people give him a lot of shit. But if you listen to our first episode on the pilot, Bob Iger is the guy who got the show on the air in the first place. He demanded this show get on the air. So while he may have made a mistake by revealing too early, I think we got to give him his flowers still. So that was my one. All right. So before anything was revealed to characters, the only people who knew the killer's identity were Frost, David Lynch, and David Lynch's daughter, Jennifer, because she was writing the 1990 tie-in novel, The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer. So only 3 people that knew. So prior to this episode, Lynch brought in Ray Wise with Mark Frost, Sheryl Lee, and Richard Bymere. and he looked at Ray and he said, Ray, it was you. It was always you. This is according to Ray Wise.
Jeez.
I had also seen, and I could not find this quote because I've heard it a bunch, but that he was like, it was you, and you're going to do it again or something, or like looking at Sheryl Lee and being like, and you're going to die again. But I could not find that quote on my research this time. So I don't know.
I find it interesting that Richard Bymere
Was there.
That's Ben Horn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find
Is it
that
Bymere or Bymere? I never
I
know
don't
if I said
know.
that right.
I just said words.
Tony from, what did I say? Tony from?
From West Side Story.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, let me just call him Ben Horn. Yeah, I guess I find it surprising that he's there because obviously the scene does not pertain to him. But I also understand they want him to react
Like he
in
knew
this
he didn't do
episode
it.
like he knows he didn't
Well,
do it
They also
because he didn't.
they also filmed scenes where he was the killer. Like they did film scenes that actually because the cast didn't know either. And basically everybody assumed it was Ben Horn, audience included. So they did film scenes that alluded to Ben being the killer without putting them in the episode. So it makes sense that they included him because he was the hardcore red herring, right? Like they needed him to be in on this in order for it to work. And goddamn, does it work? Like,
And I'll say, and I don't know, Britt, if you felt this way, but rewatching this whole show, I think there are a lot of hints early that it's Leland.
100%.
But they're really well disguised. And
Well, I also think Ben Horn would be way too obvious.
Well, Ben Horn would be way too obvious. And also, if you go back to what David Lynch was exploring at the time in his, which feels, I'm sorry, this is going into being like, I love David Lynch and I like.
I know what you're going to say though, post Blue Velvet.
Yes, post Blue Velvet. He's looking at the degradation of the American dream. So like, it does not surprise me at all that he's looking into the most obvious source of abuse in the home, which is somebody who's close to you, which is really, really fucked up and really scary. And honestly, rewatching the show, knowing where it comes from is honestly worse. It's worse. It's worse knowing.
And this is the first time it's implied that Laura has been like repeatedly molested and abused throughout her life based on the diary. By
since
Bob.
early adolescence.
And so then you start to think too hard and then you feel like you're going to throw up.
But then there's also the cyclical nature of abuse. And you're like, oh my God, Leland is an abused person who has gone on to abuse people.
Yeah. And
Like,
he was.
Yeah.
Why do you think and then we'll go even further with it. They continuously show shots of fans spinning as the cycle of abuse.
The cycle. Yeah.
I kept saying in the previous episodes to Hanna, like, oh, you want to play with fire, little boy?
Oh.
And it's like very clear that Bob had inhabited, in my opinion, and I would say you feel this way, that Bob had inhabited someone that abused Leland.
Yeah.
And then Leland has now perpetuated this cycle.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, one of my questions is, like, why does Bob choose who Bob chooses? I mean, he's been in Leland for 40 years, but I was going to say my assumption would be that he was susceptible to this in, like, the way of an allegory for a sort of generational trauma.
I would say yes. Yeah. And there are going to be more answers to your questions as we get further on, so I won't say too much.
Yeah. We plead the fifth.
Yep.
So should I get to my Special Agent Cooper on the case?
What are you on the case of now is the question.
I'm
you
not
still need to know who
sure.
shot Cooper.
Obviously the moments that'll matter later in terms of just like plot points for the episodes. Laura's diary, we do have all of that information that Bob has been threatening her since early adolescence and was, quote, a friend of her father. So I'm really hoping Coop is able to put a little bit of that together since he clearly knows it's not Ben Horn. Obviously, the Ben Horn of the diary has kind of come to fruition a little bit. We've gotten some plot point with that, but that was obviously very important. Obviously, we're going to get more related to Bob inhabiting Leland and some sorts of answers, or maybe not. And then Maddie being dead.
Yeah.
So fucked up.
It's funny because Hanna was very thrown off by that. But when you watch it again, it's like, well, Maddie is the stand-in for Laura. Maddie is the manifestation of everyone's grief and the replacement in a lot of people's minds as Laura. So like, once you know that Leland is Laura's killer, of course he has to kill Maddie. That is Laura to him. And it's like, she can't leave. He can't lose her again. So, and so there's this level of Bob, and we'll get into it, but there is, it just makes sense. And rewatch, it's like, wow, they definitely, I believe they knew it was Leland from the beginning.
Oh, no, I absolutely think that. I do think that David Lynch left things open to develop. Like Maddie wasn't originally supposed to be a part of the original show, but he loved Cheryl Lee so much that he created Maddie for her to come in. But I think that was one of those happy accidents that actually helped us understand Leland as a villain, like, can you imagine the reveal without Maddie? Which is unfortunate. Like, we don't love a woman being killed for the story of a man. It's not great, but I think it's handled well in this.
Well, I'm to shout out Maddie. I think Maddie is a great character in being a manifestation of multiple characters.
Yeah.
Over Laura, James, and Donna. I think Maddie gives so much insight on who James and Donna are as people.
I mean,
and
his song.
Leland, obviously. Yeah.
His song,
We love
2 episodes before, it's incredible. Where Donna's just like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, Donna, get over yourself. Oh my God.
Well, so those are your on the case currently. So do you want to get into vibe checks? It feels very wrong doing normal vibe checks with this episode, but I've got them.
Yeah, I left Leland well alone for my vibe checks.
Leland's on my vibe checks.
Yeah, he's on mine too.
Yeah, I was like, well, you guys, do Leland first.
I have Leland as I'm gonna be sick out of 10.
Yeah. You mean a negative million?
I just said he doesn't pass the vibe check whatsoever. He's a murderer.
Passing 0 vibe checks, that's for sure. Except when he's singing show tunes on occasion.
Child molester.
He's a bad man, Well, and there's also that idea of like, I guess some people could say that he's hypnotized by Bob when he's doing what he does, but you can't do anything under hypnosis that you wouldn't originally agree to do not under hypnosis. So I kind of feel like this seed was in him from the beginning.
I agree completely with you, Britt. Hannah asked me about this last night, and I was like, we have to wait a little bit.
Yeah,
I was trying to. Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. So
yeah, sorry, my bad. I just tried to.
No, you don't need to apologize.
Under my notes for Diane, my questions. There's a lot of.
Oh, I love it.
The Leland, and like, does he know what he's doing, or like how much control does he have over what he's doing? Like,
and I kind of explained to Hannah that there's a lot of debate among the community, and I believe that there's a correct answer, and I believe your answer is the correct answer, Britt. But I do want to wait to talk about that probably for at least a couple more episodes. There's at least I think there's like 2 more. Honestly, and also Firewalk with me.
I was about to say you could wait till Firewalk with me, because there's a lot of especially with the everything that was cut out of Firewalk with me, there's a lot of information there that David Lynch chose to give us.
Definitely.
And oh God, Firewalk with me is so good.
It's phenomenal.
I
did say to Hannah, and I will say this again, so I'll be quick about it, is this is a rare occurrence in which the subtext and the text become one.
Yes.
Not that the text is the subtext or the subtext is the text. It's this weird thing that I cannot say that I've seen in other things where you can argue for either, and they kind of are happening. And my favorite argument and the most interesting one is where they are the same almost.
Yes.
And it's like, what does that mean? But for people who've seen the show, you know what I mean. For people who haven't, we'll get there. So,
David Lynch, tour extraordinaire.
It's very, very interesting. And I think that some of the debates people have over it are kind of dumb, because it's both. It's all. It's a yes, it's a no, it's black, it's white, it's all of it at the same time.
Yes, it's allowed to be anything. And I think that's the staying power of Twin Peaks, how broad it is, but also how particular it is at the same time. Who knew those 2 things could exist simultaneously?
It's very interesting, yeah. And so it's not even like gray area. It is just, it is both. And so it's...
You know what? It's a red area. It's a red and black and white area.
Don't forget purple.
Oh yeah, purple, absolutely.
Okay. So let's get into some vibe checks. So
we
that's
said
we did
Leland.
Leland. Yes.
Yeah, 0.
Do you want me to-
No
Zero. Yeah, go ahead. Who do you have?
Okay. So one of mine, Audrey, 10 out of 10, always.
Absolutely.
Shout out.
We're at the
That's my
point where,
girl.
like, do I need to explain why you all hear me rave about this woman week after week? I love her. I love that she is so... I mean, she's been so brave, but even in this episode, confronting her father, who she knows is such a terrible person. He's literally running a sex trafficking ring, and the fact that she does have the courage to confront him is just so badass. I just
And she
love
rats
her.
on him too.
And she
Yes.
immediately rats on him because it's what he deserves, and she knows
Mhm.
that. Like, she doesn't have any...
And she's
She-
also a 17-year-old woman doing this. Like, let's
Mhm.
remember, she's like 16, 17 years old, and she feels strong enough to be able to rat on her father.
Yeah.
It just, and not only that, but let him know I was fucking Prudence. Do you
Mhm.
remember the white
That's
mask? Like,
the
oh
most disgusting,
my God. Like,
troubling
the
part of that
strength this
conversation,
woman.
honestly.
And yet the most horrific part and the thing that could have broken her is when he was like, I loved Laura. And you see her like, you don't love me, yet you were, as I said, raping my school friend and pulled her into basically a sex trafficking ring. And you don't pay attention to me, but you loved her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I love that she like wants to cry and there's a little bit there and she's like holds that stoic and is like, I'm going to end you. And I
Absolutely.
love it. So
Well, since you say that, I'm going to skip my 2 vibe checks for 1 second and do what
Ben Horn
we've
shit
now
talk.
dubbed the Ben Horn shit talk
Oh my
corner.
God, yes.
Since I was just giving him a negative vibe check every single week. The fact that he admits he had sex with Laura, like, we already kind of knew, but the fact that we
Who is
know now is
daughter?
so disgusting that he says it to his daughter.
Who's the,
The
same
fact-
age as Laura? What is
It's
wrong with
and
these
so
people?
Laura was
disgusting.
basically like babysitting his
Disabled
son.
Yes.
And so like, and that like, that's what she was probably around a lot. And it's just,
Mhm. And saying I loved her and having her photo on his desk and just openly admitting he's had one-eyed jacks and been a part of this operation for 5 years. It's all just so disgusting. And I think the part of it that honestly made me feel the most ill is when she first says, "Did you sleep with her?" And his initial silence speaks volumes. He doesn't say it right away, and the silence says it all. And making us sit in that silence, waiting for him to just admit it, is so unsettling.
Yeah. No, fuck him.
Fuck
people who
him.
would listen to this episode and not watch the show are probably like, why are you guys watching this? Like, what is fun? And I was like, it's wonderful. It
Valid.
is so
So good.
fun to feel these feelings of disgust.
Mhm.
Like, so
He's a very interesting character because I think that you cannot pull off a role like this without charisma. And
Mm-hmm.
he has charisma. Like, he's very, very good on screen when he is performing as this, like, as Daddy Horn, basically. Your eye is drawn to him. He's
Mhm.
very, very good.
He's so fun to watch.
Consistently say he is one of the best performances in
Absolutely.
every single episode.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. It's no wonder that everybody was like, it's him. It's him. He's the killer. But it's actually so much more fucked up that it's Leland. If it had been Daddy Horn, it would have been like, okay, well, big surprise there, right? The fact that they went dark, they went even harder into the like the maggots underneath the surface is this is why Twin Peaks is so good, because you think it should be this man, and it's actually Leland.
Ugh. Like, it actually can get worse than this.
It can.
Yeah.
It
Is
can
what's
somehow.
horrifying. Yeah.
And as we've said multiple times before, he's making the show to point the mirror at our communities, especially our like suburban communities.
Yep.
And
Ugh.
I think this is like, maybe not, the incest part might not be as common, but obviously like pedophiles running communities is not an uncommon
No.
thing.
Not at all.
Running
Not at all.
countries.
Running countries, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Which country would that be? That's
God, crazy. Not ours,
All right. Well, do you have any
I
other?
have more vibe checks.
Sure, go ahead. Just go run through yours.
Okay. I don't know the last time I did a vibe check for Shelly. I enjoyed in this episode that we finally get to know her outside of her relationships to men.
Yeah.
We talked about that in our last episode as well, that really all we know about Shelly is who she's been seeing and who she's been harmed by. We don't really know her, which her likes, dislikes, aspirations are. And I do think in this episode we get kind of real and honest emotional responses from her that all feel very valid. And the scene of her quitting in particular, I really liked because we get to see like this very valid emotion from her, like that she has this very genuine guilt from letting Norma down and leaving this job. And I like that that's a reveal that is separated from her relationships to men.
It made me very sad.
Well, and I also think it's such a beautiful thing to see a boss-employee dynamic that's so supportive, because I think most of the time in movies and in films and in media, we see this dynamic where, the boss is really handing it to the worker. And in this, Norma is being and has been so supportive the entire show, and is saying like, when you get things figured out, you're going to have a job here, because this was probably the only thing that Shelly had outside of being with men. And I do think there's a purpose for showing Shelly in that light, basically the entire show. And I think that's very important in the show. It's important to show how people can be, they can be isolated by abusive people in their life. And I just really love Norma and Shelly together. I think they because they both are abused. They both are bonding together over that, but they aren't defined by it necessarily, especially when they're in the R&R. Like,
And because of all of that, I gave her like a 7.5-ish with her stock trending up.
Yes.
All right, hit us with your last one, and then I'll be quick with mine.
Donna, I'm struggling with like an exact number. we'll say like a 6.8, maybe even a 7.
That is high, girl.
Her stock is rising
high
for me too. Because before I had rated her much lower than that. I like that we're finally seeing some level of self-awareness from her, and she's being legitimately vulnerable. I really like that we're getting more into her grief. The gravesite scene that we had a few episodes back, I absolutely adored, and I do think in this episode she's also taking some responsibility for how fucked up some of her actions have been. Like, they've been motivated partially by her own personal interests and personal curiosities, but then also to know what happened to her friend. But the fact that she's able to admit his whole life was in that house and I violated that, I do think she vocalizes a lot of things that's beginning to take accountability for the harm that she's caused. And I like that she is a nuanced person. Like, she feels like a person. So that is where my score is coming from. Not necessarily that I'm like, you're a good person, but because she's a person.
That's fair.
Is where it
she
comes
is a
from.
person.
I'll be quick, and then I'll send it over to you, Britt. So, Log Lady, 10 out of 10. Always
Dude, me too.
Always there when we need her.
Dude, I have Log Lady. You have no idea what's going on, but I'm here for that. Like, her at the Roadhouse. I'm like, yeah, I want to sit with you. Like, just obsessed. I'm obsessed with you, Log Lady.
It kind of seems like she saw the giant also, though.
Oh, for sure. No one
else. I think it was her and Coop saw the giant.
Yeah, that was one of my questions.
And I also feel like she was like, I'm not dealing with this right now. I got my log. I've said what I need to say.
I got you here to see this man. That's all that I was here to do.
It's up to you. Like, she is the facilitator. She is not going to ensure anything happens. And I'm here for that. Like, she's got too much going on in her life. I also have the senile old man, 10 out of 10.
I hate that guy.
I'm obsessed with him. Obsessed. I hate
senile old man.
He makes me very sad, but I also am like, he's trying and I trust him. And he
oh
said,
my God, I have negative trust in that man. When he showed up in the first episode of the season, I was like, oh, this man's making me ageist.
Nope, no, not at all. I have the
slandered him.
Opposite effect. I feel so bad for him. And I'm like, nope.
I also feel bad for him.
I also, not that it really matters.
I still slander.
I had asked Hanna this, and I still don't know the answer. Is he a human? Is he real?
Absolutely not. No, there's no way.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't think...
Well, so it was confusing because I was like, he can't be a person. He can't be real. But then Albert says that he spoke to
that
him.
is right. Albert did say he spoke with him, but we never see them interact.
We never see them interact. We don't know if that's actually Albert or if that's a doppelganger of Albert.
Well,
we have no clue.
And one of my questions in my notes for Diane is... Did anyone else see senile old man come and speak to
You're not
Coop?
going to get an answer to that one.
So,
at least I don't think. And then my last 5 check I'll go is right now, and this is a little sillier knowing the whole show. I'm giving the Giant a 5 out of 10. Because,
Hell yes.
You came in a little late to tell Coop it's happening again. And
bro.
I'm assuming there are rules about when he can actually come and intervene.
I don't think Giant is allowed to stop anything. I don't think he's allowed to do anything where he
can't directly intervene.
He can't directly interfere, but he can give influence after the fact. So, or maybe he was having a cup of coffee and forgot.
He was having a damn fine cup of coffee and a slice of cherry pie.
Absolutely.
And suddenly was like, shit, I meant to tell that guy something.
I will say, so something that I had asked a lot of these weeks is Coop good at his job or not? And in this situation with the Giant showing up, there's this scene that I noticed this time where Coop goes and realizes he doesn't have his ring back still. And he touches his finger. And I was thinking, dude, Coop, the Giant told you your ring, he would give you your ring back when you solved it.
So clearly
you arrested Ben and you didn't get your ring. And he realizes in that moment that's what has happened. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh no, dude, you forgot. Yep. So that was the thing. The Giant, and maybe it's not the Giant's fault. He showed up, he told you, and you forgot. So
it's never the Giant's fault. Coop could have been a better
Let's move on, but he's still getting a 5 out of 10 for me. So let's move on to who we trust with our coffee.
Wait, Britt, did you have any other?
My bad.
No, but it was just senile old man and Leland and the log lady.
That's so funny. Senile old man. Okay.
I love them.
So, suspect of the week. I mean, I don't think there's much to say there because our suspects are confirmed. Yeah, totally Bob, but Bob is inhabiting Leland. And then who shot Cooper? We have no new evidence. Last time we discussed that the killer was wearing a vacuna coat and was shorter. So my theory was a rich woman. So Josie.
Or Catherine, you said. Not
and
Catherine's
potentially back. Catherine, but Catherine is Asian old man, so I don't know why. I don't see her having that many disguises. So we'll get there when we get there. So yes, we can move on to who I trust with my coffee.
I have Audrey.
Always Audrey.
All the reasons you said earlier. There's not a lot of trustworthy. Even Coop is not. He's been making some mistakes, so I'm not even trusting him fully right now. So.
I think I have a controversial choice.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have 2. I have Maddie just because, oh my God, Maddie. I would trust my life to Maddie. I wish her psychic abilities were better so that she could interpret her visions. But my second one, well, I guess I have 3. Then I have Gordon because, oh my God, Gordon. He can't hear anything, but he's going to protect your coffee. But then my actual one is Big Ed.
Shout out.
Because here's the thing, Big Ed, once a cheater, always a cheater. That's fair. But he truly is trying his best to take care of Norma. It might not be in the right way, but he is trying to do right by her. And I appreciate that. And let me tell you, if I was sitting next to Big Ed at a bar by myself and I said, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Will you watch my drink? I guarantee Big Ed would be like, no problem. He'd put a slip cover on it. He would hold it until you got back. And then he'd be like, hey, nobody did that. But if you're comfortable, I will buy you another drink and you can watch them make it so that you will be safe. I think Big Ed would absolutely do that. Therefore, I trust him with my coffee.
I think that's extremely valid.
Shout out, Big
That's
Ed.
a great pick.
And I heard you have a new one for us as well.
I didn't say mine.
I think you said yours. Oh my God. I'm all thrown off.
Goodness gracious.
Go ahead.
Who I trust with my coffee is the log.
Yes. The log knows all.
The log is pretty vague, and I don't love that, but the log has not fucked anybody over, and I can't say that about most people here, so
Nobody
the log. But yeah, introduce us to our new segment that you've come up with.
New segment is who am I not inviting on my coffee date? Like, who do I not trust with the coffee? And I'm going to be perfectly honest. Catherine, how dare you? How dare you? I understand that this was a different time, but no, we are not going to pretend to be a different race. No, absolutely not. Catherine, no. And then also Donna, girl, you need to work on yourself before we can be friends. Like, honestly, she and James are trauma bonded. They need some time apart. And I can't trust her with my coffee. I feel like she would think that I'm trying to take James away from her. And I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. So no way. Those are my two for this week.
I have a silly one. I'm going to say, not because I don't think he'd be a good conversationalist and a good person. If I want like a relaxing, lovely coffee date, Gordon Cole cannot be coming and screaming in my face the whole time.
Oh, fair.
Like, if we can just communicate via text the whole time, then he can come. I have no issue. But I just simply don't want to be screamed at on my Sunday morning coffee.
Yeah, fair.
So that's my silly answer.
I love it.
Because obviously, like, there's a whole slew of people like Leland and Ben who I don't want anywhere near my coffee.
That's the obvious ones, though, right? Bobby.
Exactly. I was going to say Bobby is my other one. I just think Bobby is making some poor fucking choices.
He's making poor choices, but I'm actually liking him more as the series goes on.
I also like him more, and I think that while his choices are dumb, because I just think he's not a smart guy, I understand where they're coming from to a degree.
And I do think he truly cares about Shelley. I really do. Like,
yeah, I think he genuinely loves her. So
I'm not going to have coffee with Bobby's friend Mike.
Absolutely not.
Oh, I would have never had coffee with that guy. That guy sucks.
He showed up. He's back for the first time in forever, so I had to bring him up.
Yeah, no. Fuck that guy.
Definitely.
Throw him down a well.
1,000%. He was one of my vibe checks in the very first episode. I slandered that man, and then he just disappeared until
Never
now.
showed up.
I was like, thank God.
All right, let's do some.
My new bit.
Oh, you have another new bit?
Yeah, I told you this before we started.
Okay.
Best performance of the episode.
It's Leland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
Leland and Bob, I would say, join together because, man, that performance, especially like I think of when he's just like sucking on Maddie's chin. It's so disturbing to me. Genuinely, the last 5 minutes of this episode, truly some of the most disturbing TV I've ever seen. And people try to do that and can't. And it's not even that explicit. That's what's so amazing about it. But yeah, Leland and Bob mixed together, just superimposed over each other.
Okay, now we can get to our Black Lodge and cherry pie moments.
Yeah.
I'll be quick again because we are going a little long. So my cherry pie moment was Ben getting arrested and going, just refusing to be arrested and going, no. And that, you know what? There were plenty of other fun moments, but no, fuck that guy. I love seeing Ben get arrested.
Yes.
And my Black Lodge moment is the last 5 minutes of this episode.
Of course,
I don't need for all the other reasons we said before.
Yeah, I put my Black Lodge moment was the last 15 or so minutes of the episode, but same thing. My cherry pie moment, my absolute coziest moment is Pete saying, "Catherine, you look terrible." I laughed so loud. I loved that scene so much.
Really highs and lows in this episode. You get that right before the Leland reveal.
Yeah, it's bananas.
So my Black Lodge moment is obviously when Leland kills Maddie. Like, the other one, though, is how many peanut shells are in front of James in the roadhouse scene? Like, what is that man doing to peanut shells? That's disgusting.
I know. I noticed that.
Did you notice during the court scene, they use the peanut shells to create a aisle during the court scene in there? So the peanut shells are everywhere but the aisle, and there's chairs. So like, and also that judge let Leland out on bail.
I know, it's
Leland
so
would
vile.
not have been able to kill again had he not been let out on bail.
But he's a white man. He's an affluent white man. Of course they let him out on bail.
He was grieving. He would never do it again.
Never.
Leland also now a serial killer. This is number 3.
Yeah, exactly. My cherry pie moment was actually the Roadhouse when everybody comes together at the bar. I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to this bar. It looks so nice, especially when Truman and Cooper sit next to the log lady. And I'm like, this is amazing. And she kind of doesn't give a shit at all, but I feel like she's so happy to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Because everybody kind of is just like, oh, she's the log lady. And the two of them choose to sit next to her. Ugh, that's the coziest moment for me. And then we go back to the Roadhouse and everybody's just crying.
Yeah.
Amazing scene too, when it's like clear that like
they
Bobby
feel it somehow.
and Donna feel it.
I think that's Bobby's best acting in the entire show is when he can feel that it's happening again. Oh my God. Bobby, why do I like you so much in season 2 when you're a piece of shit in season 1? This is not okay.
Hey, I always say they're kids and they're going through a horrific trauma that happened to them. Like, it's not surprising they're acting this way. So
no, it's so true. And I think that David Lynch is really showcasing their grief in a really good way.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay. I have one dying to discuss thing, but Hanna has to get off soon. So I will bring it up and be quick.
Yes.
There's a Reddit thread that I read that was really amazing about how Harold is David Lynch's stand-in character and I was like kind of blown away by this. Obviously like Coop is also his stand-in, but it was the idea of that everyone's like, give us the answers, David. And he's like, fine, you want the answers? Here's her stupid diary as Harold. And then he's like, well, no, but like once you have the diary, this is over. Right. And he's like, I'm trapped. And how he kind of felt with the show and how felt needing to reveal it. I was like feeling trapped within inside of this studio and this box that they put him in that he just wants to get out of. And eventually we do get the diary and then it's over, right? At least Harold as a character is over. And then Lynch walks away for a little bit. We don't see him again until the end. So that was, I kind of rushed through it, but there's a really amazing Reddit thread that I saw.
That's so good.
Yeah. So I would go take a look. It was by, let me find it, Harold Smith Theory, written by TZA Tazametti, 1984. And they just thought about it 2 years ago. Yeah, but basically being a shut-in. Oh, and also Donna liking Harold as like the audience. Like, this guy's kind of interesting. I like him, and that's Lynch. Lynch let us in to like him, and then he shows us the weird stuff. Yeah. And then we demand answers. I mean, that's Donna's faking liking. She just wants her damn answers, like the audience did. So.
And if you consider how this influenced Mulholland Drive, especially with Audrey Horne's character and how Cheryl Lee was treated in Hollywood, like that totally makes sense to me with the Harold insert character.
Yeah, but it was really interesting. So
that would be another 2-hour podcast.
Oh, I had to go more. There was also stuff about how he wants to interview Donna. Like Lynch really wants to discover the characters and know what makes them tick and know a lot, but the audience doesn't care. Yeah. They just want their answers. So.
They just want their answers.
Yeah. There's a lot more in here. That was my quick. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Post. So yeah, go take a read.
My very, very quick dying to discuss is just new shoes. Yeah. New shoes. I have not been finding the Leo's disabled comedy working very well for me, but new shoes cracked me up. By the 5th time that man said new shoes, I was laughing out loud.
All right, let's go through your notes for Diane. Sorry, Britt, you're getting cut off for dying to discuss.
No, you got places to be. We're good.
But before we get to that, we have to listen to our messages from the log. So let's roll the voicemail.
Hello, this is Andrew. Just calling. It feels very weird to call a hotline. I feel like I'm in 1990 again all of a sudden. Super fan of the show. Big fans of Hanna and Matt. Just want to say I am proud of myself for finally, after 4 years, getting through season 2. I'm so glad I did. Though I must say, the episode you guys are talking about is obviously the end of the good part of season 2, and then we get into the shit that happens afterwards. But as far as the reveal, I did not see it coming. With David Lynch, I often try not to think too heavily beforehand and just let the experience and the vibe wash over me. So I did not anticipate the reveal being the reveal. I'm very satisfied with it. I'm currently into the return, and I cannot wait to see where the series goes from here. Thanks for letting me ramble.
Well, Andrew, we are very proud of you for getting through season 2.
We know we have a lot to do with it.
That's what it is. You watched it because you knew we would be recording on it. You wanted to listen to our episodes. We get it, and
we begged you to also.
We appreciate you. I'm excited to dive into the return. The fact that I haven't been allowed to start it yet kind of kills me going at this slow of a pace. So jealous that you're there. But in terms of your reactions to the reveal, I think it's very fair when it comes to David Lynch, just kind of not spending your time trying to like over predict things and figure out what's coming and just let the experience come to you. I think it's a very fair way of watching his movies.
Eat the movie instead of trying to beat the movie is what I always say. It's like a good meal. Eat it, don't beat it.
Yeah.
You know?
Instead of like making it a competition to figure out what happens,
Although that's a part of our show because it's fun.
Yeah,
but I would say that
exactly.
you don't do it to the point of ruining yourself and asking too many questions and complaining of the logic of the movie because they've already set forth that there is no real world logic. Things work on dream logic in David Lynch world.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the thing with David Lynch in general. I feel like it's just not worth my energy to try and get like caught up in certain details because in the long run, not every specific tiny detail is going to matter because it's about what it makes you feel sometimes.
And as a filmmaker and a writer, I think he's really good at not setting rules that he then breaks.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, but either way, Andrew, thank you for calling in.
Hello, welcome to Twin Peaks. This is Ethan Steinmetz, a friend of Matt and Hanna. I'm calling in about season 2, episode 7. And I have to say, this is a damn fine cup of coffee episode with a slice of pie. It was so dark. It really had some of the most disturbing imagery and content, and I loved it. I really enjoyed the killer reveal of Leland being the murderer. I was surprised by it. I was not aware, once I watched this episode, I wasn't aware of the fact that they got pushed to reveal the killer earlier in this season. So I went into this episode expecting it just to be a regular one, and then was very surprised to see they actually, revealed the mystery. I didn't have a good guess about who it was because I thought I had more time to figure it out. But now that I know it's Leland, it kind of makes sense. I think it makes sense in the fact that it's been hard to gauge him as a character throughout the show. He's been so erratic with his acting, which we attributed to his grief, but it's been hard to kind of see through that to gauge, intent and motive. But he did understand we have the means. One thing that I really liked about the reveal was the record skipping, creating a really creepy ambiance during that scene. And I thought it was interesting considering so much of Leland's character has been music driven, how he loves to dance and sing in really uncomfortable moments. So it's interesting to see that whenever the music stops, this is whenever he snaps and he becomes Bob. I'm interested to see where the show goes. If there's going to be a long time of us knowing that it's Leland, but trying to wait for Cooper and Truman to catch up and figure it out, or if they'll solve it pretty quickly, and then after that, where will the show go? What's going to be its main focus? Either way, I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to continue watching.
Ethan, thank you for calling in. You said so many good things that I think we agree with that I don't even know how to comment on all of it. But I am excited for you to continue watching and see how the rest of it plays out. As for what you were saying about realizing it's Leland now, I think the show does such a great job at hinting it throughout while also hiding it. So it really rewards the second viewing for me where I can kind of see the sinister side of everything. But for a first-time viewer like you and Hanna, you see much more of the, it's just grief. And he's able to basically hide the sinister motives behind the grief. Yeah. There's also a level of that the extreme grief is because he did it. It's like this weird grief or guilt he's having on top of it. And that's why it's a little more extreme than whatever Sarah is having.
Yeah. And I completely agree. His behavior is so erratic and it really does make it hard to figure out how much of his behavior is, like we said, grief or sinister. There are definitely times where I'm like, this is above average behavior, reactions here. Like, I don't know what to do with this. So it does like feel kind of full circle to have this reveal, but I would totally understand never getting there either.
And then you think back to him jumping on her casket.
That's
as it's
where my
lowered
brain
in
went
front of everybody.
immediately. Like,
and it's like this weird mix of, is
horrifying.
he feel guilty that he did it? Is he trying to establish his alibi? Is it both? Is he upset because he felt like he wasn't in control? There's all these different arguments for it.
It's so messed up because everyone is convinced he's just a grieving father.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad and fucked up, and now he was out on bail, and oh my god.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you about the point of like, are we just going to be waiting for Cooper and Truman to catch up, or are they going to figure it out right away? I think that was my biggest anxiety when it was revealed. I think I might have even talked about it earlier in the episode of like, I knew this was the episode where it got revealed, but I guess in my head, I thought
it'd be solved.
It would be solved, not just revealed to the audience. So definitely anxiety inducing as a viewer to be like, hello, Cooper, you need to get on the same page as me now. Thank you.
Yep, totally agreed. Well, Ethan, thank you for calling in. And we have one more message from the log, so let's roll it.
Oh, hi, guys. Jason calling in again, just with some thoughts about the final killing reveal in season 2. I'm thinking back to remember how I thought about it the first time I saw it. And I don't know if I had any guesses at that point. I mean, we know what's happening leading up to it. But at that point, the kind of real life and supernatural elements of it had diverged to a point where I was just kind of along for the ride, and I wasn't sure how they were going to tie everything together. But seeing it all unfold and seeing especially Leland's reaction when he realizes what he's done and acknowledges it, and it's very tough, and it's very difficult to watch, seeing how it all unfolds and affects everyone as it sinks in. It's like, oh, so this is what happened. But yeah, I think looking forward to your thoughts going forward, and keep up the good work there.
Thank you, Jason. And I want to touch on something he said at the end, and it's the idea of like the realization in your head after the show. And you start putting pieces together, and you start seeing what was happening behind closed doors and not on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where every once in a while I start thinking about the show, and I'm like stopped in my tracks because of those things.
Like what it means for how he was treating his daughter
throughout
before
maybe
the
her
show
entire life.
started.
Considering that he had been infiltrated early on by Bob, whatever that means, there's this level of like, oh my God, like this has been happening. And I think then you start thinking about him drugging Sarah. And it's, like I said, it's just like your blood goes cold for a second.
Also, like, he seemingly has had Bob as a part of him since he was a child, aka Lars' entire life.
Yes.
So, like, when did he start abusing her? Like, that's a horrible thought to have to think about a adolescent, a small child.
Yeah,
like,
and I assume that this was happening because it is kind of implied that this is like a cycle of abuse that was perpetrated on him as a child.
Yeah,
so
it's implied. Yeah,
altogether, that's where I think some of the magic happens. Is it's like while you're not watching the show, it's like what pops in your head. So that was something that Jason made me think of. So I appreciate that, Jason. Thank you.
I also think it's really interesting that we've had this theme with our callers of like, I did not have a guess. I did not think it would be Leland, or I didn't have a guess, and I'm just along for the ride. And I think that's really interesting, especially given, obviously, we're watching it for a podcast, so there's inherently going to be this guessing game. And I think I would probably be doing that to some degree as well, regardless if we were podcasting. And you did too, right? Like, did you have any theories or guesses, or were you also along for the ride?
I was mostly along for the ride. I was like trying to guess, but I was pretty shook when it happened.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fun theme to be picking up on all these calls.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, that's it for messages from the log. So if you're a log and you have a message for us, make sure you call and leave it at, Hanna?
215-821-9584. And as always, that will also be in the episode description and plastered on our socials. Make sure to also follow us on Instagram, because we do post some questions that we will share answers to later on in the show.
All right, so now back to the episode.
Oh my gosh, I have so many things I'm dying to discuss. Okay. So why did Mike seemingly react to Ben Horn when Ben is not Bob? Is it related to Ben's proximity to Bob all these years? Ben's particular penchant for evil? Coincidence? Who's to say? I would love to know. Has anyone else noticed that fucking Ben Horn had a photo of Laura, a dead, murdered teenager that he's not related to, on his desk?
Yes, I did notice.
No, I don't mean us. I mean the characters in Twin Peaks.
I kind of assumed that Laura was in their household a lot.
That's still weird.
I know it's still weird, but
it's so weird. It's so weird. It's not even like a family photo that she's in. Like it's just a photo of her. Ugh, gag. Yeah. Why hasn't Bobby told the police that Hank shot Leo? And speaking of, where the fuck is Hank?
With John.
I know, but where? What the hell is Bobby's plan past what's going on right in this exact moment? She says, how are we going to survive? And he's like, I'm missing economics as is. And I was like, fuck you, Bobby. You put her in this mess and she shouldn't have trusted you because you're dumb. So like, what are you going to do to get us out of it? What is Norma's general headspace right now? Her friend/employee just quit. Ed's coming in with his ill wife who has no idea what time of her life she's in. Does she still want to divorce Hank and be with Ed? Like, what is going on with this woman? I feel so bad for her also, but she's kind of just not the priority here. There was a tape in Leo's new shoes. What is on this tape? Did Ben really think he was gonna accomplish something by running away from the police? Like, what the
I love that scene so much.
What the fuck was that? That's so
he
funny.
has gotten away with everything in his life.
I know, but that was so funny. He was like, I'm gonna go get a sandwich, see ya later. And just like tries to leave. It was so funny. Laura's diary says that Bob was a friend of her father's. So my question is, what does she actually know? How much does she know that it's actually Leland? But there are owls at the roadhouse. What were the owls at the roadhouse? We didn't really get any clarity on what the owls were there. Could Truman and Log Ladies see the old room service man, senile old man? And also, could the Log Ladies see the giant?
You're not going to get answers on those. We told you what we think.
Why the fuck did Sarah see a horse while she was on drugs? Like, what does it mean? Because you could dismiss anything by just saying, like, she's on drugs, but she clearly has visions.
Did talk about the pale horse.
Yeah.
And I don't recall it.
You might have to go back and watch.
So, might be.
Pale horse is obvious. A lot of the times synonymous with death. And
that is really depressing.
Yeah. Am I wrong in saying that, Britt?
No, not at all. That's a very, very Catholic thing. It's one of the four horses of the apocalypse, and death rides in on a pale horse.
Well, I guess that answered that question. Shit.
There you go.
Does Leland know what he's doing? Does he have control of what he's doing? Oh, is Maddie actually dead? Did he rape Maddie too? I'm assuming, but ... Oh my God, I hate it here. Okay, how much awareness does Sarah have as to what Leland/Bob is doing? Because she's she's being drugged, but she was like Leland, like saying his name.
There are a couple questions that you're going to ask that I could say carry through, but that's going to be on your list for a long time.
We can't say anything. If we say something, it will give it away. So we must plead the fifth again.
Now that Cooper knows it's clearly not Ben, does he suspect who it is? Because I feel like you should probably have the clues now. And also, we'd already talked about it, but like, why did Bob choose Leland? But I know we had that conversation.
All right, let's see what we've answered now that we've hit this episode.
So, any of those that we think I should have on the
there
linger,
are a
or
couple,
it's just
but
so
there's a lot.
Yeah, there's so much related to the end sequence.
For me, I would say keep the diary. Keep that in your back pocket.
Okay, I like that.
That's the one that really stood out to me. That I was like, you might get some answers, not necessarily on the diary itself, but
like, what does she actually know? Did she know it was Leland? That piece of it. Okay.
I would say keep that in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that one.
So my lingering questions: where does Bob come from? We don't have that. How did Leland come to meet Bob or be inhabited by him, since clearly no one by the name of Robertson ever lived by the Palmers? Did Josie marry what's his face is what I had written, Andrew, for resources, money, land, etc. Again, I feel like there's implication there, but no confirmation. Why did Harold actually have the diary? Why is Bob spelling his own name?
You could probably take a guess at that one now, but
I mean, it's
no. Okay, keep moving on. Never mind. Keep moving.
How long have Laura and her mother had dreams? Owls, question mark. What does the giant mean by the owls aren't what they seem? And why is the log lady so worried about owls? Is Lucy's baby Andy's?
Again, the important questions.
Yeah.
And this is the one
important.
that's really upsetting. Was Laura's body brought back to the house or harmed in the home because Maddie had the vision of the bloodstain on the carpet? So I do think we have the answer to that one. Yeah. Is that Maddie had visions of her own death.
That'd be correct. Yeah, when you asked that, I had never thought that before, and I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be very sad when you find out. So, yeah, she was having premonitions of her own death. So, like her and like her aunt and like Laura, they all can see things. Mm-hmm. And like Cooper. So, and those are the ones that have all seen Bob. As we said before, they're either gifted or damned.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think in this case, both.
Agreed. Yeah, yes. I agree.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad. All right, let's rate this episode. I think there's no other answer, right? Like Britt already said, this is one of the best episodes of TV of all time.
Yeah, like, if not the best.
If not the best.
It's the best cup of coffee you've ever had, served with your favorite slice of pie.
Absolutely.
That's why
for me, it's the cappuccino that we had when we first landed in Milan, and we were so tired. I was like dying, and I was like, I don't even know if I like coffee that much. And then I got like the best cup of coffee of my entire life. It was the best cappuccino ever, served with a slice of my mom's rhubarb pie because she has the best crust ever.
Oh.
I just wrote espresso in Rome as like, you know, I know Cooper and Lynch like their black drip coffee, but yeah, the espresso I've had in Rome, that's peak stuff.
I love that. See, I would say the best cup of cold brew I've ever had, which is probably honestly homemade cold brew, when it's just chilled overnight. It's perfect with not a savory pie, but with a slice of steak and Guinness pie.
Yum.
I'm a savory pie girl. And again, that would probably be homemade by myself because I'm a very good pie maker. So
okay, cocky.
I'm very cocky about it.
We're coming out your way.
Absolutely. Come on over. I'll make it
pie.
for you. It's great as hell. So
we're gonna hop on a 6-hour plane ride for some.
That's not too bad.
and then we're gonna go to North Bend to go to the Double R and go to the Great Northern.
Snoqualmie, go to the Great Northern.
I know. Oh my god, I want to so bad. Matt, I've been telling you I wanted to go to Washington for years.
All right, well,
it's cool as hell over here, y'all. It's cool as hell. We can also go to Deception Pass, which is my favorite place in the world. Ugh, it's beautiful.
And I have family on that island. Wannabe Island. What's it called?
No, Woodby.
Yeah.
Woodby is awesome. It's so cool.
That live there.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Well, Britt, thank you for joining us. You want to tell us where to find you?
Yeah. You can find me at 1001 by 1. You can find me at Britsby Hobnob on everything. Ask me for a weird recommend. I'm happy to give it to you.
Great. Go follow Britt. Go follow 1001 by 1. And we are glad everyone could join us here today. This was a harrowing episode. I'm excited to see what Hanna thinks of where the show goes from here. So for everyone out there, we will see you next week with a fresh cup of coffee.
Thank you for listening to Welcome to Twin Peaks, a Twin Peaks rewatch podcast from Horror Hour with the Hannas. If you liked the episode, please make sure to give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app. If you'd like to call into the show, call us at 215-821-9584. You can find us on the socials at Welcome to Twin Peaks Podcast on Instagram, or at our original account at Horror Hour Hannas on TikTok. Come back soon for more Coop, coffee, and cream corn.